Welcome back, Serena here. So, we're going to talk about the latest right now, as of close to 9 p.m. on Friday, the 13th of June. I don't know for you, Friday the 13th has always been a lucky day for me, but clearly not lucky for the world because, and that includes me, because of, well, what we're about to cover. Iran launches retaliatory missiles into Israel, IDF announces. Let's talk about this. And as per usual, I will be using ground news as my source of information. I am an affiliate, and you can also become a subscriber of Ground News. You can grab yourself a subscription using the promotional link in my description. So, what I've done is I've selected a couple of articles and I will let you know the sources of those articles as well as the factuality rating of it, because Ground News provides you with a rating of how high it is in terms of whether you can verify it as being factual, and also it will let you know where it sits on the political spectrum. One of the articles is actually in the blind spot area. So the blind spot area on Ground News is one that basically shows you media news from across the globe that is disproportionately uh, distributed and shared, and it might not be available in all press outlets. So first and foremost, let's go to the Ground News summary. On Friday, Israel launched a preemptive airstrike on Iran's nuclear and military sites, including the Natanz enrichment facility in Natanz and other key targets. This attack followed heightened regional tensions triggered by, according to the summary, Hamas's October 7th, 2023 assault, and was planned months earlier amid fears of Iran's nuclear progress. In retaliation, Iran fired dozens of ballistic missiles and over 100 drones at Israel, prompting nationwide sirens and rocket defense alerts, including in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas can't pronounce this one. Araghchi, condemned Israel's actions as state terrorism and vowed self-defense, while Netanyahu called the strikes very successful and necessary against existential threats. The escalating conflict under Operation Rising Lion has prompted emergency UN meetings, widespread calls for de-escalation, US military repositioning, and Israel mobilizing 13,000 emergency squads amid ongoing regional instability. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go to a Middle Eastern publication, and this, in terms of bias distribution, it's very high in factuality, but it leans a little bit left, and the second article leans right. So just in case you felt I wasn't being fair, I am. So we will look at both of these stories. I hope you're good. If you haven't already, do smash the like button. So Al Monitor is a Middle East leading independent news source since 2012. And this headline reads, Declaration of War. Iran fires 100 plus missiles at Israel, it's just cut off one moment, at Israel after airstrikes. Iran has fired barrages of ballistic missiles at Israel on Friday night, less than 24 hours after heavy Israeli airstrikes targeting Iranian military installations, commanders, and its nuclear program. Let's get into this piece, which was published by the looks of it just moments ago. Iran launched more than 100 missiles at Israel late Friday, retaliating for Israeli airstrikes earlier in the day that killed top Iranian military commanders and nuclear scientists and hit key sites, including the country's main uranium enrichment facility. Sirens sounded across the country as missiles targeted Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa, and elsewhere. Tehran had declared the Israeli attacks a declaration of war and vowed earlier Friday to respond decisively. I'm shaking my head. Just because, like, why? Well, we know why. An Iranian official told Reuters nowhere in Israel will be safe, as Iran's state news agency IRNA said hundreds of ballistic missiles have been fired. Goodness me. Hope you're doing good. I'm just quickly checking if the live is up and operating. Just having a quick look at YouTube. Had some technical issues earlier. Yeah, we're good. So, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said in a statement carried by Tasnim that it launched missiles strikes on dozens of targets in Israel, including military centers and air bases. The Israeli military said its air defenses were intercepting incoming fire and instructed civilians to seek shelter. Israel's state broadcaster Khan reported that the missiles from Iran were directed at both civilian and military targets in the Tel Aviv area. Here's a quote: "Defense systems are operating now to intercept the threat," Israeli military spokesperson Effie Defrin said. Israeli citizens must enter the protected areas and remain there until further notice. The Israeli military said at 9:28 p.m. local time, which is ET. What does ET stand for? Let me know in the comments. That another barrage of missiles was headed toward Israel. The military added that interceptions and crashes are causing explosions and that air defenses remain active. Khan reported that the second wave of missiles is targeting Haifa and the Galilee in northern Israel, while sirens also sounded in Jerusalem. The Magen, so many names that I just can't. Okay, just gonna have to do it. Butcher all of them. The names. The Magen David Adam Emergency Service said 7 people in central Israel had been lightly wounded in the Iranian attack. Earlier in the day, in a letter to the United Nations Security Council, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran would respond decisively and proportionally and urged the council to immediately address the attacks. Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei appointed new top commanders to replace those killed in the strikes. Oh Lord! Well, that's not in the article. That's me. Just ad-libbing. In a televised address, Khamenei vowed that Iranian forces will act with strength, adding that Israel will not escape this crime unscathed, according to the Tasnim news agency. Reports and videos coming out of Iran around 7:30 p.m. local time showed a fresh wave of Israeli strikes targeting Tehran, Karaj, and Qom. The Fordow nuclear enrichment facility, Iran's most heavily fortified nuclear site, located deep underground in a mountain, is located 20 miles northeast of Qom. Iranian state media reported a fresh round of attacks on Natanz at 1:50 p.m. local time Friday, while explosions were also heard in the northwestern city of Tabriz near the main airport. The Israeli military had said early Friday in a statement that it had launched airstrikes against dozens of targets across Iran related to the nuclear program. At around 9 p.m. local time in Tehran, there were reports of explosions near Iran's nuclear site in Isfahan. Shortly after, the Israeli military said it had attacked the site under precise intelligence guidance. The military said its attack destroyed a structure for producing metallic uranium, infrastructure for converting enriched uranium laboratories and other infrastructure. According to Iranian media, at least 78 people were killed and 329 injured in Tehran alone on Friday. Majid Farshi, governor of East Azerbaijan province, announced that Israeli strikes in Tabriz killed 18 people and injured 35 others. The overall death toll across Iran remains unconfirmed. Now, explosions we're going to look at Israel's strikes. Explosions were reported in Tehran around 3:30 a.m. local time as Israeli strikes hit military and nuclear sites across Iran. Iranian state TV said the IRGC headquarters in Tehran was amongst the targets. Sorry, can I just read the comment? It's just hilarious and probably what I needed. D-Tex, you are so welcome to the chat and to the stream. D-Tex writes, girl, why you sat here reading the news like you're being held hostage? It's Friday. Yeah, I am. By the YouTube algorithm. That was hilarious. Thank you for that. I needed a bit of a chuckle. It was getting a bit dark and serious, but that's because it is. Let me just quickly finish this piece before we can move on to the next. But you are so welcome, D-Tex. So Iranian state TV said the IRGC headquarters in Tehran was among the targets. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed Israel had struck Iran's main enrichment site at Natanz, calling the operation a crucial moment in the history of Israel. Ooh, are you at all like me, just really fed up of political leaders making these massive declarations of visions for nations that haven't actually consulted the nation or the citizens within it? It's like in terms of like the let's say if it was like a absurdometer, like it's pretty high up there. Netanyahu said claiming Iran had said that bits and claiming Iran had enriched enough uranium for 9 bombs had recently advanced weaponization. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. The Israeli military said its strikes destroyed the underground section of Natanz, including a multi-story enrichment hall with centrifuges, electrical rooms, and other supporting infrastructure. It added that the attack crippled critical infrastructure for weapons-grade enrichment. Iran's Atomic Energy Organization confirmed damage, but said no radioactive or chemical contamination had leaked. The early morning attack, which the Israeli Prime Minister described as an opening strike, also targeted high-level military personnel to decapitate Iran's security brass. The New York Times reported on Friday that Khani, head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, was killed, Iran's Tasnim news agency reported. It is, oh gosh, it's just, yeah. Honestly, what can you say? I'm going to go to the Hill quickly because this is where there's a story that says Iran suspends nuclear negotiations with the US after Israel attacks. State TV says this is very much on the right of the spectrum. The summary from Ground News is Iran has withdrawn from nuclear talks with the US due to recent Israeli attacks on its nuclear program. According to the Islamic Republic of Iran, the talks are now suspended indefinitely. According to the Times of Oman, President Trump cautioned Iran to reach a deal to avoid dire consequences, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. Interesting that it just always seems really lopsided. Like Trump is urging that Iran, we're exactly sounding neutral. Like, where's your diplomacy? Like, is there any kind of US diplomacy available in this situation? I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't seem very diplomatic, like telling the one party to get down, step down, stop now. Okay. All right. Iran pulls out of nuclear talks with the US. This is from The Hill. Like I said, this one leans right, so you can't at me, and say that Serena, you only did a left story. So Iran no longer plans, according to The Hill, recently published, Iran no longer plans to engage in nuclear talks with the US that were scheduled to take place in Oman on Sunday. Iranian leaders announced Friday after Israel launched deadly airstrikes. It said targeted Tehran's nuclear facilities and military sites. Oman news agency and Iranian state media reported the talks have been suspended indefinitely. Israel's unilateral attack on Iran is illegal, they say, unjustifiable and a grave threat to regional stability. Oman foreign minister posted on the social platform X after the attacks. also continued to say, I condemn it and urge the global community to come together to reject Israeli aggression and support de-escalation diplomacy with one voice. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, meanwhile, vowed retribution against its long-standing adversary Israel. This is a quote, with this crime, the Zionist regime has set itself up for a bitter and painful fate, and it will receive it, he said in remarks released through state media. Oh, gosh, I'm rolling my eyes. Just because, this is just what the world needs, right? President Trump and his administration have been working for weeks to reach a deal with Tehran on a nuclear agreement. The meeting Sunday would have been the sixth round of high-level talks since April, as the US and Iran tried to hash out an agreement to replace the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action that Trump withdrew the US from during his first term. Trump continued to urge Iran to enter the latest round of negotiations with serious intentions of striking a deal, despite Israel's surprise attack. There has already been great death and destruction. This is Trump, right? But there is still time to make this slaughter with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal come to an end. Trump posted on Truth Social, Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. Continued, no more death, no more destruction, just do it before it is too late. It's kind of like I feel like it's a cloaked comment. Just do it before it's too late. He added, noting Iranian hardliners who had resisted an agreement are all dead now, he says, and it will only get worse. Trump has repeatedly stressed that a nuclear deal will not allow Iran to enrich uranium into a weapons-grade material, though the country has stood by its stated aim of peaceful enrichment that will be mutually beneficial. Let's go to X. That's right. I'm going to go there and I'm going to show you up on my screen. And if you're watching the live right now, I appreciate you. Smash the like. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'm Serena, talk about media, politics, and culture over here on this channel. So, ooh, what on earth is that? What does that mean? There's a post from Iran military, right? And it just says, we've arrived. What in the sinister? Okay. You're just going to say, Serena, show us. I'm about to. All right. Keep your pants on. So there you go. It says, this is, do I even follow this? But no, it's on the For You, right? It's not on my followings before anyone adds me. It says, Serena, is this what you watch? Following. I don't know what that means. We've arrived. And what are the comments on that? Lights, camera, action with Wendy. Not Wendy. Oh, man. Grok says, is that true? And Grok says, so someone says, Grok, is that true? Grok says the event reference involving Israeli airstrikes on Iran occurred on June 13th, targeting nuclear military sites. Iran's response included launching drones and missiles. Oh, what I thought, you know what? The For You page is just a mistake because you're going to end up seeing some corn, right? So let's have a quick look at this. So over here, it says Israel attacks Iran's nuclear sites. Iran responds with missiles. Today, this is 7 minutes ago. Today, Israel conducted military strikes on Iran, targeting the Natanz nuclear facilities. Pretty much what I was saying earlier. The action has led to international condemnation from countries like Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, while some nations express concern for regional stability. Iran has retaliated by launching missiles towards Israel, escalating tensions. Amidst this, there are mixed reactions globally, with some leaders supporting Israel's defensive actions, while others call for peace and stability in the region. What are your thoughts? Twitch and YouTube, what are you saying? What are you saying? Fox News captured the moment Tel Aviv was hit. Hold up.
Let's go.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, this is some short-range systems. Stay here, Yaniv. Pull out a little bit. Okay, there's just a massive amount of fire coming to Tel Aviv right now. Yaniv, get ready to pull it off the stick. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Okay. Guys, come on, everyone move. Everyone move now. Stay with us, stay with us. Pick up the gear, let's go.
Peeps, tell me, what happened to the Iron Dome? I'm just asking. Like, it's not. Okay, let's see what Modi says. Yeah, Narendra Modi. Yeah, says received a call from Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel. He briefed me on the evolving situation. I shared India's concerns and emphasized the need for early restoration of peace and stability in the region. Israel Defense Forces shows all of Israel is under fire as Iran fires projectiles. Oh, Nick Salter. Sorry, that's a bit loud. Trump told CNN's Dana Bash Iran's hardline negotiators are now dead. Bash says, does that mean Israel got them? Trump says, well, they didn't die of COVID. Oh, God. What is this? Breaking Iranian missiles are flying over Gaza towards occupied territories. Joy sweeps through the streets of besieged Gaza as some missiles strike Tel Aviv and near Jerusalem.
اللهم زيدهم وبارك يا رب. ايوه كان غزة بس مشي يطرح عليه. اللهم زيدهم وبارك يا رب. ايوه هيها هذه الاشياء اللي بتفتح النفس. هيها بدنا كمان بكفوش هدول يا عمي. كان غزة بجد بس بده مشي يطلع عليه غلابة. اي والله شيء بيفتح.
No, this doesn't appear to be a video. That you see, this is the thing where you just got to double check stuff. Breaking: Iran has launched its first retaliatory strike against a genocidal. Oh well, okay. So this is someone's caption. Random captions because journalists. Continue. Anything noteworthy? Anything useful? Can't believe I'm saying that whilst scrolling on X. Multiple direct landings in Tel Aviv. Iranian missiles hit downtown Tel Aviv. There. It's so disturbing. What's this?
Which is something that President Joe Biden does not endorse. Do you not feel like this could lead to a likelihood of an all-out conventional war between Iran and Israel? And do you not agree with Joe Biden and his assessment?
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
My eyebrows are all the way up to my hairline. Ooh, okay. Oh, sorry, that was loud in the mic. I do apologize. That was not the kind of ASMR that anyone would want to be surprised with. So there is a lot more on X repeating videos of Iranian missiles hitting Tel Aviv. I'm looking for a bit more of a reliable source, but who does? Mehdi Hassan of Zateo says, so does Iran have a right to defend itself? Question. A lot more in terms of the same video being it's just looking for some info. And there's very little, I'm afraid. Very little. Very, very little. which is quite frustrating. Let's have a quick look at the Tube and what the Tube is saying. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching the live. Appreciate you and your time and attention and for helping me with this channel. If you haven't already liked or subscribed, please do. Let's have a quick look at the Tube. And there's something 14 hours ago. I want something much more like
Residents of Tehran awoken to the destruction of Israeli airstrikes. In the early hours of the morning, CCTV captured the moment the attacks hit, lighting up the Iranian capital's skyline and leaving this building consumed by a raging blaze. When daylight came, the scale of the damage became clearer, with residential buildings and cars destroyed, leaving locals in a state of confusion.
This building where we live blew up. I don't know if they hit it with a missile or what. I don't know what happened to neighbouring apartments.
Whilst Iranian state television showed wreckage caused to residential areas, Israel insisted its strikes were targeted, aimed at the heart of Iran's nuclear program.
Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves.
The strikes, which were aimed at dozens of targets around the country, have reportedly left top Iranian military officials and scientists dead, including the leader of the country's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, General Hossein Salami. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has warned Israel should expect severe punishment as his country contends with what appears to be the most significant attack it's faced since being at war with Iraq in the 1980s. And Israel seems to be readying itself as air raid sirens blared through Jerusalem and the defense minister declared a state of emergency. Iran has already launched 100 drones in response, according to the Israeli military. Israel's closest ally has distanced itself from these strikes, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the country took unilateral action, while world leaders have urged for restraint and de-escalation.
And everybody is focused on de-escalation, but of course all the next steps will follow from that. So it's difficult now to predict exactly what will happen over the next 24 and 48 hours, but I think there is a focused endeavor to make sure that de-escalation is the key.
But whether or not the calls for de-escalation will be enough to prevent an all-out war between these two bitter Middle East adversaries remains to be seen. Mahathir Pasha, ITV News.
Let's just do a quick scroll again to see what's up. Thanks for coming into the live. Hey from India. Hey, hi back. Let's have a quick look. This is want a reliable channel, and is there one? Probably not. Let's have a look at what's this short saying. This is from BBC News an hour ago. I know you're laughing. I said reliable news.
Why has Israel launched attacks on Iran? Overnight, Israeli attacks on Iran targeted more than 100 sites, including nuclear and military facilities, and killed some of the country's top military officials and scientists. The strikes appear to have three objectives: to damage Iran's nuclear program, degrade its defense capabilities, and kill part of its military leadership. Israeli officials are indicating that this could be a prolonged campaign. The strikes happen as the US has been negotiating a deal with Iran to curb its nuclear program. But Israeli officials had described this as a unique opportunity to act. Iran's defenses had been damaged after Israeli attacks last year, and its proxies across the region, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, have been severely weakened. We're now waiting to see what Iran is going to do, as the country has vowed to give a harsh response. Why has Israel launched attacks?
Okay. That's quite enough now. I think. You know why? I'm just going to kind of pose a couple of questions, right? Hey, guy in the room. It seems that no one can control what Israel does. They're like China now, according to a guy in his room. Thanks for your comment. It didn't show up. I'm so sorry. It didn't show up on my YouTube, but only on my restream. So I appreciate you watching the live. So before, can we just say that? So this is where I'll ask you for your opinion and your take on this. That there'll be world events sort of taking place, right? There'll be world events taking place, and there'll be a focus on a particular story, on a particular event, on a particular conflict, and then suddenly there'll be a real shift in where our attention and where our focus goes, and then we are preoccupied with something new. And it's like when a toddler is behaving a way that you really don't want to, and you keep distracting them with new toys. It feels like that, and it's like, hold up, what are you trying to distract me from? Right? So what are they trying to distract us from? Like, what else was going on prior to this? What is going on right now in the background? What else could explain the timeliness of this? And it's just all absolutely, to put it, I mean, it sounds pretty benign to call it horrid, but I mean, it's vastly more than just horrid. It is just, I mean, the amount of what's up, back to you. Thank you for watching. It's like the devastation to lives, and the destabilization to literally like just the world. It's like, what is it all for? So these are the questions that we ask. We all have our own opinions, we have our own theories, but in the end, there's like a repeated show, and it's like the producers are writing a new script each time, and then there's a new season that's available. And so what have they been writing whilst we were still watching the season that was out? Like, what have they been writing and planning? So who's the new character, who's the new protagonist, like what's going on? So these are the questions that we have to ask. We absolutely must ask. And I appreciate you and your time. I know everything. What do you want to know? Aristotle is in the chat, supporter of the channel. I appreciate you. Well, as I was winding down after I did the awfully boring thing of reading a couple of articles from Ground News, I was doing the waffle bit at the end of the stream, which is normally what happened. Always. Guy in his room says, there was that random plane crash. There's the Diddy trial, right? So if we are tuning into a show with multiple seasons and the producers are writing a new season and they're just sort of like putting it out there, what have they written in this season and why? Like, what is the plot? Yes, Aristotle, I can read, right? Can you believe it? It's shocking. So what's this new season for? So that's what Aristotle says. It's up on the screen. And that's what I can't read your handle says. It's up on the screen. So answers on a postcard, and then we can discuss it in the comments. You have once again, Aristotle sent a gift membership to the channel to, drum roll please, Kratty. Kratty has received a membership gift. You are now in the inner circle, Kratty. Thank you to Aristotle for that. and Krati has received it, and I'm sure is appreciative of it, as am I. Thank you, Aristotle. Guy in his room says this season is kind of all over the place, right? Aristotle says, who would Adam and Eve it? I don't know what that means, but maybe it's because I need to eat and it's been nearly 40 minutes and it's quite warm and I want to turn my fan on. But the problem is, if I do that, then the sound could interfere. This channel is indeed growing. Thank you. Hey Adam, Aristotle says we got past 2k subscribers, which is awesome. It happened when I streamed the other evening, which is really cool. A guy in his room says Serena is starting a membership cult. That is right. Patreon is not enough. I want more power. Adam and Eve, it means believe. Oh yes, Cockney slang. Sorry, I clearly need to have some food. Yo, back, Adam. Listen, I just don't, and I can't even do some ASMR. I need to eat something. So, what am I going to eat? Like in my peaceful life, right? Because I am really like fading fast. Is it chicken? I've got some kimchi. A bit obsessed with kimchi at the moment. Actually, I've always been obsessed. No, because I was creating food. A guy in this room says you can't go 40 minutes without food. No, actually, I've been creating content for my other channels for the past 3 hours. And then I thought, well, I'm already set up. Let's just jump on and do a live, right? And so it's been 4 something hours actually. So there, right? I haven't worn it out. It was just there. Just, stop bullying me. Ew, kimchi. Kimchi's great. What are you talking about? Come on now. Kimchi's wonderful. I think I want to love you and leave you. I welcome your thoughts in the comments for the recording. Aristotle, I will not get any fried chicken from Whitechapel because that would take me back to uni days. You're saying it's too tasty. I think it's probably going to be the cause for any heart disease that may occur in the future. So, no. But, in all seriousness, right, you're concerned, you tuned in, this popped up on your recommended because you didn't know who I was. I'm Serena. I'm old lady, as Aristotle likes to call me, and I talk about media politics, culture stuff. I also do other stuff online. You can find out in the description. And I do come by here regularly, not as frequently as some of you like, but I mean, a few streams this week is pretty good, right? It's just sauerkraut. It is because it's fermented cabbage, yeah, basically, but chili, right? Aristotle, they accuse you rightly. Yes, very old lady, because when I said I was middle-aged, somebody, i.e. you, corrected me saying, no, Serena, that's not middle-aged, you're old. So apparently I'm old, right? So that's fine. It's fine. I embrace the journey as I head towards 50. It's all good. It's all good. Loving life, right? It's splendid. So off I go. No, I will not jump on TikTok and do a live stream. No, I will not. I just have to tell myself just in case I suddenly get the motivation when I'm fading so fast. Pickle juice. Really? Why do they like pickle juice? Kimchi seems like because it's fermented, I can imagine why it would be a craving for those who may be pregnant because of the pickly kind of, right? Matten, Zero says, you're like in your 30s max. And I'm trolling. I'm not. But you know, this is what happens when you practice yoga for a very long time, right? And that, you know, you drink the no, I can't say this on because I'll probably get my stream taken down. I was about to say something that was going to sound quite violent and awful. I do not drink the blood. No, I don't drink. Sorry. I've told you I'm fading fast. It must be old age. Serena has almost as many followers as Tay on TikTok. Almost. No, I don't. No, I don't want the compliments either, guy in his room. You would like that to be the case because you would like to frame me as being such a female, right, who is fishing for compliments. But no, please continue talking about kimchi and pickles. Legend says, hola, ¿cómo está? How are you? Nice of you to come through. I am definitely going to have to go and eat. And what am I going to watch? What does Ian Carroll have a show tonight? I think so. Might need to check that one out. What else is out right now that we should watch tonight? I need some kombucha. I haven't had kombucha. That's so weird. You literally said it. You literally typed it. Look at the screen. You typed it as soon as I was about to say it. I swear we are like, you're a troll and you're on the other side of sort of politics than I am probably. But I swear we're like kindred spirits. Or I reckon we know one another. It's really weird. Aristotle is like probably a professor that I had at university. Adam says, I'm a hardworking mum who hasn't had a mental breakdown with comedian type of personality. You could argue that the mental breakdown is constantly happening. It's like an iteration. It's like an incremental. It's all the time. Yay, Matt and Zero just found the channel a few days ago. That's awesome. Legend says, I love this show. I appreciate that. I think that's quite kind considering I've not been as frequent as I normally would have been in the past. I drink fermented stuff, apparently, according to a guy in his room. Listen, what's that guy? You know that old geezer who is trying to stay super young and he does all kinds of weird stuff. Like, would you go to that? Would you go to those lengths? Would you? I don't think I would, because it's a lot of work. Like, can you be bothered? I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I am not. I do not have San Pellegrino sponsorship, but I'm a fan of sparkling water. Legend says you rock. Thanks, Tarchuk. Listen, can I ask you a question? I know the title of the stream is about something super serious, but can I quickly talk to you about Cilla Black and Blind Date? Yes, the guy in his room, the one who injected his son's blood. Exactly. Can I quickly talk to you? So I don't know if anyone is aware that in the UK for a long time in the 90s, late 90s, mid to late 90s, there was a dating show called Blind Date, and there was the host of the show called Cilla Black, and she was from a place called Liverpool, if I'm correct. That was a little bit of a throat gargle. It wasn't quite a burp. It's because I had something sparkly. And Cilla Black, you may have seen some of her past shows, clips of her past shows and her songs going viral, such as Surprise, Surprise, right? So anyway, Cilla Black did this show called Blind Date. Okay, Chuck? Right. And she was just epic. Now, in my boredom, because just finished one round of exams and doing my master's, blah, 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 and wasn't working. And I was like, I just need to watch something mind-numbingly dumb. And I decided to look at kind of a couple of episodes of some random dating shows. And I was like, this is basically Blind Date. And I thought, why don't they do Blind Date? You know why? Because Blind Date as a format, right? Yeah, she was a laugh, Aristotle. You're right. Cilla Black, she was like proper tongue in cheek, probably trolling them as well, because some of them are just silly, like stupid, right? So I thought, well, they should just, I mean, they kind of do the format, but why not just bring back Blind Date exactly as it was? Like, have this like crazy screen that is just wheeled out. So, like, there's someone behind the staging just turning a wheel to have this screen cover the three men or women on their stools being asked questions by the contestant on the other side. Why not? Right? Thank you. You're awesome too, legend. You real recognizes real, right? So yes, have you liked and have you subscribed? A guy in his room says, strange, I got recommended this channel and I'm not a Brit. Oh, okay. Legend says, how's everyone's Friday 13th going? I was saying earlier when I was quite serious at the start of this stream that Friday the 13th has always been a lucky day for me, but I know it's not something I really should be saying considering what's going on in the world. So, kind of funny. You're like nothing's going on. Exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The person who just commented, and I'll pop that up on the screen. You're right. And Aristotle has just gifted another membership to who have you gifted it to R Glyn. You are very kind. And Mr. Game, hey, how you doing? Mr. Game and Watch says all wars are bankers' wars. Who is profiting from all of this? We are taking it seriously. We're also just having a little bit of a, but you just got gifted, Glenn. You got gifted a membership by Aristotle, as per usual. Pronounce their name, Serena. Go ahead. You're cheeky, aren't you? A guy in his room. You're just a little cheeky thing, aren't you? No, I shan't. I shan't. Because I can't. Okay? Right? Is that what you wanted? You wanted me to cry? It's not going to happen. Are you ready for some ASMR? There you go. Hit some feathers. So I know, you see, this is how crazy this is. Like, there's some serious shit going on in the world. And here's me with some special spiritual feathers. And you're like, what is going on? And, I am just unhinged. Like, there's a reason why I stopped streaming so much, because I realized how unhinged I get and how wrong it is, right? I will do the member only streams, but you're not a member, Aristotle, right? So do you want some? Do the voice. How are you doing? I know you're here for politics and to know what's going on in Israel and Iran. And now you're seeing some weird old lady from London, a weird old Brit, waving some feathers at a camera like she's got nothing better to do on a Friday. What an absolute loser. Yeah. Where you all at, legend? London, okay? In London. Was that an awful Fergie song? So sorry, yeah. I will do a members only stream, absolutely, if that's what you would like. But Aristotle, you have to become a member as well. Matt and Zero, old lady is crazy. I am crazy. I'm crazy. I need to eat. I told you I'm fading. And it gets a bit dangerous because when I come towards the end of these streams, I start doing waffling and you guys just kind of, hey Templar, how you doing? You guys just kind of incite the silliness, right? And then I look up and I see more people have joined and they're like, we want something serious. If you wanted the serious bit, it was at the start. Now this is just dumb, right? Dumb. If you like this sort of thing, right? If you like this sort of thing, I'm not fasting again. I did that. Listen, that was a mistake. A guy in his room, that was a mistake. It worked in the sense, I'll tell you what it did, right? It gave, like, it was like within a month, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel so light, I feel so amazing. And then I had exams, a job, a business, and I'm like, what is going on? I cannot just be eating like this. And my neurodivergence was making me quite obsessive about it, almost like I was following some kind of cult. And I don't do cults. I don't do ideologies. I don't do cults, right? So I started to introduce food groups again and eating at odd times. And then you know what happened. Then there was some regression. And if I had gotten fitter, it had gone the other way. And I'm like, you know what? No, does not work for me. All I need to do is practice yoga every day, dance, walk every day, and just eat when I need to, and we're good. And you know what? We're getting fitter, we're getting healthier, it's more sustainable. I can study, I can work, I can do biz, I can be a parent, and it's just enough. It's manageable, right? And oh gosh, you want to read me bedtime Torah? That's really kind. One of my favorite places in London. Anywhere that does tea and scones. Anywhere. I'm quite happy in Surrey. Mary had no, I'm not reading your comments, Templar, your cheeky little thing. Putting rude things in the comments. I shan't read them. So yes, I don't know what I was saying. I told you I'm fading fast. So I will go because it's just not right to be speaking like this when people are jumping on the stream for something a little bit more serious. But yeah, I won't be doing. So can I tell you what has really helped me? Somatic, SOMATIC movement has really been helping with my stress levels, to help manage sleep and hunger and all these things, because when you've got a lot going on in your life, like for me, it's been work, content, streaming, business, blah, 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 and studying. My gosh. And then obviously parenting. I'm like, I just need to de-stress. And because I'm a yoga teacher and I practice yoga, somatic movement, which is just a lot of shaking and rocking around, basically. It basically what it does, it communicates to your nervous system in a way that sudden, fast, running around gym kind of movement does, is in because it's not stressing you out. And it starts to calm you down. You can start yawning and releasing all kinds of like ick. And it really helps. So look into it. Let me quickly write it in the chat and I'll pop it up on the screen just so you know what I'm talking about. Let's show that up on the screen. I'm so new age, says a guy in his room. Listen, I started yoga, right, when I was 13. Okay? And that was a long time ago. It was in the 90s. All right? And it's not it's Tai Chi for old people. So I started yoga from a book from my local library. Okay, I'm sure I've spoken about this before. Do you remember libraries? Do you remember what they were? In your local library, we took your little library card, your membership card, and you would go and like they would scan it with a pen. They would scan the barcode with a pen, and then they would get a punch with a date on it, and they would punch the as in the first page with all the kind of boxes on it with a date that you had to return it by, right? So I have no Buddha statues in my place, none whatsoever. So the thing that I don't do is I don't do statues of things, right? I don't do statues of things, okay? 80s. So I'm kind of bridging millennial and X, right? So I don't do statues of things. I don't have those kinds of things around. Even when it comes to painting, I don't do faces. It's abstract acrylics and watercolor. I started yoga, according to Aristotle, before Noah built the ark, allegedly. Templar, you are just, I just can't. Yes. 13 is a kid though, isn't it? Yes. So I was really curious about holistic methods super early. And it was before the internet. You'd actually have to go to a library and pick up a book. But yeah, enough. I digress. And listen, I've done close to an hour now. That's pretty major for me. You know it is. And this isn't talking about Iran and Israel anymore. You're at the end of millennial barely qualify. Yup. Aristotle says statues are idols. We don't like idols. God gets angry with them. Must be our Abrahamic. Actually, no, because Abraham. Yeah, Christianity. Okay, but yes, I'm going to go and lighten up because Templar says I need to. You know what's going to help me lighten up? Some kimchi. So I really appreciate your time. I'm going to come back. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back this weekend for sure. So make sure you click the notification bell so you actually know when I'm going live. Let me know also. To you too. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And I'm so sorry if you have loved ones that are affected by what's going on. I promise you, or if you yourself are, I promise you, I'm not making light of anything going on right now. This stream has just ended in a kind of a waffly, conversational, casual kind of chat with subscribers of the channel, which is what I like to do. Although I started the stream like a newsreader, I am not one. So yeah, there you go. But I appreciate you back. I'll do the thing that people do. It's kind of weird. But yeah, let me know where I can message you to let you know. I'm going to put Aristotle's message up on the screen because that's basically the sentiment that we need right now. Let me know the best place to message you when I'm going live. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching the recording, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, click the notification bell and you'll see it when you see it. Okay. Sometimes I don't say what I'm thinking because I tend to keep it a bit more neutral in Switzerland in order for us to all be in this kind of peaceful kind of state. My face kind of gives it away what my bias is because we are all biased, and that's why I have merch called Biased. So you can check that out. But I do appreciate you all, and I'll catch you again. Click the notification bell, sub if you haven't already, and have a good one. Oh, X maybe. Yeah, maybe. So come through to X. I'll let you know there. We need a group chat. We need a group chat. Let me know where I should do the group chat. And Patreon is, if you come to my Patreon, we could start a chat there. Discord I used to have, I don't really check it often. So let me know. I'm going to go now. Enough. Holos.